Hi, my name is Peg Wilson. I am the Star Director of Team Embrace out of, I guess we could say, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware area because we have a lot of teammates in all three of those states. So we're like the tri-state area. I named my group Team Embrace because I wanted it to be an environment where everybody felt welcome. We recently adapted Beehive theme, and the reason we did the Beehive theme is because a beehive is a community, and it's a community where everybody works together. We don't call anybody the queen bee, so I've had some of my team attempt to call me the queen bee, and I call myself the beekeeper instead of the queen bee because I feel like I am the keeper of my worker bees, and I'm a worker myself. So I think everybody in our hive is a worker bee, and we all work together. We all support one another, and that I think is the culture that I've tried to create with my team, and I hope that they feel that that culture is resonating with everyone. I'm very fortunate that a lot of my team will be with me at World Tour, so I feel like I'll have a little bit of support. My topic is looking out for others. So when I thought about this topic, some of the things that they talked about were bringing some of my personal experiences to the table to help you understand how maybe I have empathy for others and how that would help me with both my team and my customers. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I don't have an incredibly dramatic story. Some people, gosh, I hear some of their stories and I'm like, yeah, I just sell Scentsy. So, my story isn't incredibly dramatic, but I will tell you part of my story is where Positive Peg was born. Lots of people are always saying, that I look at everything in the bright side, and I really do try to look at the positive side of everything. And that wasn't always so. I had a lot of drama and trauma in my life. As a kid, I come from a long line of alcoholics and drug abusers, and that's part of my story and part of what made me who I am today. I spent lots of times in the meeting rooms of Al-Anon, and that taught me how to deal with a lot of different situations and how to separate myself from the things that I could control and the things that I couldn't control. And I think that that really helps me in my business. But I was a cheer mom, I was a soccer mom, and I had infertility. So when I finally had my children, my world was just going to be my children, and my world was my children for most of their well, still their lives. But my children were my world, and everything that I did was with my children and for my children. So when my kids got to the ages where they were off to college and there was no more cheerleading, there was no more soccer, they didn't need me to run them all over the place. I felt like I kind of got lost. So I sort of was looking for a little something for me. While my kids were in high school, I did get a cancer diagnosis. I was very fortunate that my cancer was a very early stage, and I had surgery, and they were able to remove the cancer, and I didn't have to have any follow-up treatment. But while I was home recovering from that, it happened to be Oprah Winfrey's last season on TV, and she was all about the positivity, and she had all of these people that on there that were talking about self-care and how to look at the bright side of things. And and that's kind of is where Positive Peg was born. There's some funny stories. If you ever meet me, I'll tell you some of those funny stories around involving Positive Peg. But it really was where my outlook on life came from. So my cousin had been selling Scentsy. She met someone at a vendor event, and her husband was a realtor, and she thought, hey, this is a really great way to have realtor gifts. So she had offered me the opportunity a couple of times. And then in 2015, my daughter graduated high school, and it was getting around the time where I was kind of looking for something for me, and we're Disney people. So she had mentioned that the incentive trip was to Disney, and I was like, what do I got to do? We're going to Disney. What do I got to do? So I didn't get a lot of support from my family in the beginning. My husband was just concerned about how much it was going to cost us, because he just assumes that all of these direct sales companies, that the people are really supporting their own business, and in lots of cases people are. I hope that after I talk to you a little bit, that you won't be one of those people that are supporting your business, and you'll find a way to get out there and really start selling the products and love selling the products. So I didn't get a lot of support at home. I mean, my mom was like, hey, slow your roll. I was super excited about it. And I'm the kind of person that I jump right in, both feet into the fire, and I'm all in 100%. So that's the kind of person I am. And my mom was sort of like, slow your roll. This is temporary. It's not going to last for very long. So let me start by saying that if you're coming into this business, and you're authentic and you're open and you're honest and you're yourself. I mean, you can't be anybody else. You can only be who you are. So if you come into this business and just do your thing and don't spend too much time looking at what others are doing and trying to copy what others are doing, it's not going to feel right to you if you do that. Everybody takes a little bit of time to find their way, and that's okay. It's okay to take some time to find your way. Just be who you are. Don't change who you are. Don't try and be something that you've seen someone else do. It's okay to look at other people's ideas and kind of incorporate them into who you are. When we start this business, we're all equal. On day one, we all start at the same exact place. We're excited, we're scared, we're confused, nobody knows what's going on, we're a little nervous maybe. Many of you maybe who are watching this video or attending World Tour are attending your first event, so congratulations for investing in your business. But you might feel a little bit nervous, a little bit scared, but you also have that fire in the beginning. I so envy that fire. When I bring new people into my team, that's what keeps me going, bringing new people into my team and experiencing that fire that they have, the excitement of being a newbie and figuring it all out. So I did join under my cousin in 2015, and I did earn that incentive trip. So I was happy to prove my husband wrong that I could earn an incentive trip, and I've earned every incentive trip since. So I've been with the company for 7 years. Obviously the pandemic, we didn't do anything. I didn't take all of the trips, but I did at least earn them. So that for me has been my focus. Everybody comes into this business with a different focus. They talk about telling your story and how it resonates with other people. So don't think of telling your story as you have to go into all the great details and dig all the skeletons out of your closet so people relate to you. But listen when people talk to you. So when I hear somebody talking about cancer or having cancer, I can relate to them. I can relate to that feeling of the doctor saying for the first time, you have cancer. That's devastating. It's horrible to have that, someone say that to you. Your mind immediately goes crazy. So anybody who's had that, I can speak to them about that. I attract people who are, part of, I referenced Al-Anon. So, sorry if I'm not allowed to talk about that kind of stuff, but I'm disclosing it myself. So I guess it doesn't have to be anonymous, but I found that in the rooms there, I attract people who maybe have some problems, and I'm a caretaker. I take care of people, so I have a tendency to attract people who need somebody to help them, who need somebody to take care of them, and I'm okay with that. I give them a little dose of positive peg, and that's the way that I work with my team. That's the way I work with my customers. I call everybody my hive. So whether you're my customer or you're on my team, you're part of the hive. And I whipped out one of my brochures real quick to show you. So see this cute little cartoon that I had made. It kind of resembles me, but wish I had that nice little waist, kind of cute. But this is the little guy that I fell in love with. He's just a cute little bee, and I want everybody to feel like they belong and that everybody wants to be part of the hive. So whether they are customers or whether they are teammates, I want everybody to feel like they're part of my Scentsy community, and it's something that we all do together. They love the product. I love sharing the product with them. Share your excitement about the product. So let's see. So let me get back on track because I have a tendency to get off track. Okay, so after 7 years, I have earned every trip. I made sure that both of my daughters and my husband have reaped the benefits of the trips. So they're a little bit more supportive now that they've gotten the opportunity to travel the Scentsy way. So let me see. So let's talk about some of the peaks and dips in your business. In this business, it's nice when you start with people who are going to support you. And generally, your first encounter with Scentsy is having your first party. Lots of people join after they've had their first party or they've attended somebody else's party. So you start out with sort of having your family and friends supporting you. So after a while, those family and friends, they've all got warmers, they've all got wax. So, it kind of starts to die off a little bit. And that is kind of where the dip comes in. So there's lots of people that join and they're excited and they're on fire, and it lasts about 6 months. And then after 6 months, they go and they start to plummet. I like to refer to that as the honeymoon phase. So when people join my team, I kind of warn them about the honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase is when your family and your friends are supporting you. Well, after they've all got the wax, they've all got the warmers, they're really just coming back for refills, and you get new products and you try and introduce them new products. You talk to them about the club, but maybe that business starts to lull a little bit. So you have to find a way to get out there and get new customers. So parties are a great way to get new customers. That's something that you want to expand. You want to expand your customer base. That's a great way. So one of the analogies that I like to use for my team is it's all about a mindset. So it's all about how you feel about presenting your product. You have to be proud of your product, and you have to be willing to get out there and show that product to people, talk about that product to people, and be excited for your team, be excited for your customers, and that's what's going to bring people into your team. That excitement that you're sharing, they're going to want to be part of that. They're going to want to follow that. So one of the analogies I like to use with my team that kind of gets them into that mindset. I had one of my consultants in the first year that I had joined that she said, I'm not going to harass people for them to buy Scentsy. And that's just not what I'm about. So she wound up quitting the team because in her mindset, she was harassing people. First off, if you feel like you're harassing people, it's probably not the business for you. You have to feel like the product that you have is something that you love. I loved Scentsy before I started selling Scentsy. I was a user, I was a customer. I really enjoyed the product. So you have to get yourself in the mindset that you are sharing something you really love with customers. So the way that I like to, again, back to my analogy. So what I like to say to my team is if you had an ice cream store, so think of it as you had a brick front ice cream store, and your family and friends are coming in. The only thing that you have is vanilla and chocolate ice cream. So all of your family and friends are showing up. People are driving by. They're like, oh, want to try out this new ice cream shop, and everybody stops in. Well, after a while, they're like, I'm tired of having vanilla and chocolate ice cream, and they stop coming, and things start to slow down. Well, now suddenly you get strawberry ice cream. So when you get the strawberry ice cream, are you hoping that your family and friends just stop by and find out that you've got strawberry ice cream? Or are you going to reach out to them? Are you going to reach out to them? Are you going to say, hey, guess what? I've got strawberry ice cream. This is where you're looking out for others. So this is where you want to reach out to your customers. You want to talk to your teammates. Want to get excited. Your teammates, guess what? We've got strawberry ice cream now. That's something that you want to be excited about. You want to share with your customers. How are you going to share it? You're going to advertise. You're going to text. You're going to call. You're going to reach out to your customers. This is how you're going to let them know the new products that you have. If you're not excited about it, then they're not going to be excited about it. So you have to be excited about it. So good customer service is not harassing people. If they could go and buy wax, they could go to Kohl's, they could go to Yankee Candle, they can go to Walmart and they can buy their wax. The difference is they're not getting a phone call from you. They're not getting a phone call saying, hey, it's Peg, just checking in. Wanted to make sure that you got your order. Were you happy with anything? Did you like that new smell? What did you think of that warmer? Oh, where did you put it? Do you know how to use your warmer? That's the difference. The difference is nobody's calling them from those other stores. That's the difference between you and them. They can buy wax from anywhere. Doesn't smell as good. We know that, but we've got to get them to buy the wax. And what they're buying is not just our product. They're buying you. Why do they choose you as a consultant? You have to be looking out for them. You have to be taking care of them. Take care of your customers. Take care of your team. Inform your team when something new is coming out. Have your team page. I like to share, the news articles and say, hey, sometimes it's just, hey, check your news article. Something new was posted. Sometimes I'll share the details of it. But that's the way that I'm looking out because I work full time. Lots of them work full time. Lots of them have little kids. They get tied up. They get super busy. They don't necessarily get an opportunity to check the workstation every day. I've made it a habit that that's what I do. I check the workstation every single day. So I check the workstation. I know that usually we release things. Usually it's around 1 or 2 o'clock my time. So I make sure that after lunch, I always go in and I check and see if there's new news articles, and then I share them with who I have to share them with. So let's talk about your why. We talked about how you're going to implement these things, why it is that you joined. That's something that's a little soul searching, that you have to decide what it is that you want out of this business and how you're going to share it with others, and what you want to get out of it. It's unique. It's not something that I can tell you. It's something that everybody has their own reason for doing this business, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's lots of ideas out there to share. I personally use the 222 system for my customers. So I'm not always on top of it. I can't say that I have a perfect system. Some people are pen and paper people. Some people, I miss Amy because I did use Amy a lot. So I miss that system, but I'm now getting into project broadcast. I was using MailChimp. I was using MailChimp to send newsletters to some of my customers and some of my teammates. I use text, but my 222 system, anybody who's been in this business for a couple of years, you've heard about it. After a customer places an order, within 2 days, they're getting a thank you from me. Lots of times they're placing it through me, but if they're placing it on my website, they're getting a thank you from me, whether it's a text, whether it's a phone call, a messenger. I'm thanking them. Lots of times I have a group VIP page and I put the thank yous in there. So then it helps with my algorithms and other people see that. 2 weeks after they place their order, I go into my workstation and I make sure that their order has been delivered. And then I follow up with them and say, hey, did you get your order? That's why I say, is everything okay? Make sure they know how to use it properly, see what they think about it. So if I haven't heard from that customer within 2 months after they placed that order, I get it and I put a reminder in my phone. So we have these phones that are, $1,000 phones. Use them to your advantage. Get it and put a reminder in there. Put a reminder to follow up with this person in 2 weeks, and then put a reminder for 2 months. Once you follow it up, and then put a reminder for 2 months. So before I follow up with them, I always make sure that they haven't placed another order. I have a large customer base, so I don't always remember who's placed an order. But that's something that I'll do, and I'll go into the system and make sure that I check and see if they've placed an order. And if they haven't, let them know what's new, let them know it's available. And I kind of cycle through. I try to do 5 people a day. I thank, my regular customers that are ordering all the time, and they're always on my radar, but I'll kind of go through and I'll pull a report. I pull a report from my system and say, so-and-so hasn't ordered in 6 months, or I haven't heard this from this person in a year. I'll pick out 5 people, sometimes 10 people, depending upon how much time I have. I take the train to work. So lots of times I'll text people on the train, hey, it's Peg. Haven't heard from you. How you doing? It doesn't always have to be a sale. Sometimes it's just a follow-up. Sometimes it's just a, hey, I'm checking in. How are you doing? I saw that your mom was sick. How's your mom? Build a relationship. It's all about being personal. It's all about being authentic. I mean, don't send somebody, cold call messages. That's probably the worst thing that people do, is lots of times they'll just start to go through their Facebook friends and just start to reach out to people. Try joining groups, things like that. You want to make the connection. It's got to be an authentic connection. So the business is full of ups and downs. There were trends that changed. We have to adapt to things as they change. I think we've all hit that time. Anybody who's been in this business for a couple of years, we all hit that point where we want to quit. So the difference is going back to your why, and when you hit that dip, quitting's not going to get you anywhere. Riding that wave a little bit. And hey, guess what? Some people hit director numbers. Some people don't hit director numbers. People worry about their titles. Just worry about enjoying what you're doing. If you're enjoying what you're doing, your customers see that you're enjoying what you're doing, your team sees that you're enjoying what you're doing, you become the go-to person. So now I'm going to apologize because I have 3 dogs, and I knew I would not get through this whole thing without a dog barking. So I'll apologize for barking dogs. I think that might be my Loki. My Loki's my barker. So, okay. So, let's see. If you find things are getting stale, shake it up a little bit. Try something new. There's so much more information out on your workstation, and there's lots of YouTubes. If you don't have to do it all. Stick simple, stick with the basics. Simplicity, authenticity, generosity. That's the foundation of what we do. Since he was built on these principles, you don't have to be anyone else. Just be yourself. Do things your way. Don't reinvent the wheel. Keep it simple. Take Take little pieces from what other people are doing and make it your own. And that's okay. You don't have to do all the things. You don't have to be the person that's running all over the country, delivering your orders, or running all over your city. I hope you're not running all over the country, but running all over your city, delivering the orders. It's okay for you to tell customers to come and pick up, hey, I work full time, and you have to come and pick up your orders if you want to save on shipping, and I'll add it to a party. So it's okay to do things like that. The secret is making the connection. Starting conversations can be something easy. You join different groups and things like that. But it's all about taking care of your customers, looking out for them. If you know that somebody loves the sugar scrub and the sugar scrub is going away, make sure that you let them know that sugar scrub is going away so that they can stock up. If there's a favorite fragrance of theirs, let them know that fragrance is going away and that they might want to put it in their Scentsy Club. This is the way that you are looking out for them. So let me see, where am I? Okay, so I do have a couple of people that are going to be with me at a world tour that are very supportive. And my daughter Caitlin, who happens to be on the autism spectrum. So my daughter Caitlin, I think she's probably more excited about this business than I am at times, but she kind of keeps my fire going, and it's really helped her be able to stand in front of people and speak to people when I go and do parties. She's my sidekick. She goes with me all the time. And while I'm taking orders, she'll be packing up. She'll be answering questions. She'll be playing games while, where I'm trying to take orders and talk to my hostess. So being in this business for 7 years and reaching the level of star director has afforded me the opportunity to my sister. I hired my sister. My sister helps me, and I feed her with Scentsy. I pay her lots of times with Scentsy, or try and take her to different events with me. She helps me by sending out personal thank you notes. Which is something, again, working full time, that I wouldn't have to do. They have made such a huge difference in my business. Every time somebody places an order with me, if it's an order that they pick up, I put a personal thank you in their order with maybe a scent circle or an extra bar or something like that, depending upon the size of their order. But everybody who places an order with me at least gets a thank you card and maybe a sample of something else. And it's funny, we started doing that when we go to events. Lots of people who come to events, and that's my business. I like to do events. I do home parties. I do smaller events. So I kind of mix it up and do a little bit of everything. But I can't say that I do one thing a lot. I don't do a lot of parties. I don't do a lot of events, but I do maybe 2 or 3 events a month. I do maybe 2 or 3 parties a month. So, again, working full time. So, my time is limited, and there are many of you that might be in the same boat. So you have to figure it out and what works best for you. But regardless of what you do, make sure that you are looking out and you are appreciating your customers and letting them know the different things that are coming, and that you appreciate them choosing you as their Scentsy consultant. So those little thank you notes, when you go to events, lots of time people come to those events and they might already have a consultant, and they're just kind of, cheating and grabbing a couple of bars that are there. Everybody likes that instant gratification. And lots of times I hear from people that, oh, my Scentsy consultant, stopped doing it, or I'm looking for somebody new, or no, I just buy at events. So we started asking them to fill out the raffle slip and sending a thank you note to every one of them. Now, when they place an order, I give them a business card, but in all of my thank you notes, I make sure that I put my business card in a thank you note. And I can't tell you how many people have said, oh, thank God you gave me your contact information. I lost it after I left the event. And oh, thank you for, for the thank you note. And oh, I'll make sure you're my new Scentsy girl. And I'm getting repeat business. So I am getting I'm getting orders out of sending it. So it's worth that little extra effort to do that. And having the advantage, if you have kids that can help you, have a sister like I have, who is very supportive and willing to help me, it's really helpful with my time. And I order pre-printed thank you notes, but we always put a little personal note in there, thank you for buying 6 bars, I hope your son, enjoys the smell of, or thank you for buying a buddy, I hope your daughter likes the Minnie Mouse buddy that you bought, so we always try and make it a little bit personal. I encourage all of you to take out your workbooks. I believe that we are on page 19. So what I like to say is, I love this saying. It's a goal without a plan is just a wish. So if you've heard something here today that you want to incorporate into your business, just talking about it and just wishing for it is not going to make it happen. You have to make it a goal. You have to put it into practice. You have to do, what's your PRV goal this month? What is it? Is it 500? Is it 200? Is it 2000? Well, I say whatever your PRV goal is, double that. Because the truth of the matter is, when you put that in your mind and you put that in the universe, you unconsciously work towards that. So if you set the goal of 200 and you're like, yay, I'm accomplished. I've hit my goal of 200. If you're hitting your goal is not high enough. So don't feel like when you don't hit your goal that you're not accomplished. It's all mindset. It's all the way it is. And it's like, okay, I'm going to work towards this goal. There's lots of times, guess what? I sell $2,000 a month consistently. I sell $2,000 a month. Well, because my goal has been $2,000. That's what I sell, $2,000. So now I've upped my goal this year. My goal was $3,000 and I'm getting closer and closer to the $3,000 every single month. So, and it's just because that's what I've kind of put out there and I've got a plan and I know how that I'm going to work it. So pick your PRV goal and reach big, dream big, and then go backwards. How many parties, how many events do you have to hit that PRV goal? How many people do you need to connect with each day to book those parties? At each one of those parties, how many parties do you need to book for your next goal? At each one of those, I'm reading the same thing over again. Remember, the more parties you book, the easier it is for you the next month. So you want to keep that in mind. Front load your calendar, because lots of times parties will cancel, parties will get pushed back. So front load your calendar. Try to get 3/4 of your goal in the first 2 weeks. Like on my team, we do green by 15. So if you've hit 200 by the 15th of the month, everybody gets into a drawing. So I'm trying, my thing with my team is I'm encouraging everybody to be active. I don't have everyone active all the time, but those who are active are going to be consistently active. And then I'll take it to the next level. We do $1,000 holler if you get out to, if you reach $1,000. So they're the kind of things, they're ways that you can take care of your team. There are ways that you can set your goals and work backwards. So my final thought that I'd like to leave you with is what you say is what your brain hears. So watch what you say. Your brain is listening. My husband's grandmother used to say that, and I never really understood what that really meant until I started this business. And I'm like, wow, isn't that powerful? And isn't that so true? What you say and what you put out into the universe is really what your brain is hearing. So if you're having negative self-talk and you're saying, I can't do it, I can tell you, I'm going to be nervous getting on that stage, but I like to replace the word nervous with excited. So if I use the word excited, I'm excited to be standing up in front of 1,000 people talking. So if I use the word excited, my brain is saying, oh, we're excited. Oh, we're excited. I know deep inside my belly's fluttering a little bit. I'm a little bit nervous and I'm stuttering and I can't say how many times I say, because we all do that, So I find that they're the kind of things that I'm having that negative talk and I'm talking down to myself. So watch what you say. Your brain is listening. When you're talking to people and you're getting nervous and those butterflies are in your stomach, change your words and say that I'm excited. I'm excited to share these products, whether you're shaking or you're sweating. We all start at the same place. We've all been there. Everybody's been there. So thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I hope that you heard something here that you'll be able to put into practice in your business. I hope that you'll continue to look out for yourself, for your customers, and for your teammates. So thank you again, and I appreciate you. My contact information, in case anyone wants to reach out. I love to make new friends, so I love to make contact with lots of my Sensi sisters and misters. So I am on Facebook. I am Peg Wilson. You can find me. You'll see my little beehive out there. So the name of my website is Breath of Fresh Air. So you can find me on Facebook under that too. I use Instagram sometimes, but not as often. I'm more a Facebook girl. And you can always call me. I'm actually gonna put my number out here. So I don't know. Sensi might cut it off so that I don't put my number out. But my cell phone number is 856-404-0076. Please feel free to text me with any questions, feedback, tell me I sucked. I don't know. So thank you again for listening and enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope you loved World Tour.